staying true to yourself is very, very important. I would encourage anyone to make sure that you stay true to yourself. What are your goals? Don't let other people take that away from you.
When I work out, I put my work. When I work out, I put my work in. Ready, get, go. If you wanna play ball, better give it your all. Stand tall, put your work in.
So hi everyone, my name is Rowena Williams. I'm the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation. I was elected president in February of 2021. And of course, it's a 4-year term. I'll be president for the next 4 years. I've been the president previously in 2010 to 2014. From young, I've been in cycling with my parents, because my parents are, my father actually was a cyclist as well as he was a coach. And then they both were in the administration. So we have always been in cycling. I think I've been in cycling from birth. And we remain in that field. So I've always had the knowledge of how the administration works because, of course, my parents being administration, they hold in meetings at home. So you're always involved in, you might be told go in your room because they're talking big people business. But you're always there. So the administration part was very easy for me to get into. And then as we grow older, we always, myself, I have 2 sisters. So we always there helping out my parents on all the officiating roles of cycling. So I would always be there doing registration, getting to know all the cyclists. So I can tell you from start to finish how you start an event, you finish the event. So I didn't really have to get on the bike, but officially know how to administrate in the sport. And then as you grow older, we just get more into the administration, and I guess it tells the story of how I became president from then to now. The reason this period is quite different is because in 2010, cycling would have been now coming out of a period of non-existence, and we were really getting it back on stream. So it's new to me in coming in and having to administer a sport now that we have a lot more happening in the sport, a lot more accomplishments under the federation, and it's for us to drive that and bring it to fruition as we move forward in the future. What is unique about Rowena? My passion for people, my laugh that people love so much, my passion for the sport, because people always tell me that when I'm in the sport, when I'm actually into the administration of the sport, I tend to zone out of everything else and focus exactly on what is happening around. So I think the passion that I have for the sport, it says a lot that once you call on Rowena, she's there, she's always there, no matter whether it is in an executive position or not. I've always been there, and I think that says a lot for my success in the sport. Some of my habits in the sport is making sure that I'm always there on time and always there to make sure things are done the way it should be done. That's maybe a good or a bad, but I more see it as a good, because you want to always make sure that the sport is kept at that high level, and professionalism is one of my main attributes, I want to say. I do everything with a level of professionalism in everything that I do. Sometimes people find it's a little too harsh. I always like to see things in a certain way. I like to see things, done with some level of perfection. So I would go out there and try to make sure that when we administer with a level of professionalism all the time. For the Cycling Federation, my goal is to improve women in sport, to increase the participation of women in the sport of cycling, and to really bring it to that point where we have a greater impact. I want to say impact in terms of women in cycling, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. It is not one of the sports that we really have had that number of participants that we really want, compared to other countries where women in cycling, the participation is great. I think we need to do more in Trinidad and Tobago. So one of my goals, and I would have shared this when I came into the presidency, that one of my goals is really growing the sport of cycling in terms of women participation. I would say that Tennille Campbell, being the first female in the Olympics, definitely will be a great start to us bringing that participation level up. We have a number of young children, girls, in the sport that needs somebody to emulate, and I think Tennille will do that for us. Women in sport leadership has really grown over the years, and I think it's saying a lot in terms of what is happening in the sporting world. Women are now being more respected and more accepted in the different sports, because if you look at the sports that are being led by women, mainly male-dominated sports. So I think, we have impacted, we have shown where our leadership skills are being accepted, and I think in Trinidad and Tobago, we would definitely see more happening in sport through the leadership of the women, especially in these times where all the national or international bodies are encouraging women leaders in their own sporting disciplines. And I think it says a lot for the direction that Trinidad and Tobago is heading with the leaders and women leading sporting organizations now. My greatest inspiration is Michelle Obama. I always like how Michelle is so calm and she speaks with a level of elegance, and she stays very calm, she stays very focused, she doesn't get flustered in anything that she does. And she's just eloquent, anything she does, the way she approaches everything. I just think she's a beautiful woman to emulate. My advice to all aspiring athletes is to stay focused. Remember always that God is in full control of our lives. And if you let God control you as an individual and control you as a person, staying true to yourself is very, very important. I would encourage anyone to make sure that you stay true to yourself. What are your goals? Don't let other people take that away from you, because most times we get into things and we get into things because somebody else wants us to get into it. And it's really what you want as an individual that we need to stay focused on.
When I work out.